And here we go, the continuation of the so-called illegal immigrants here in the United States, right? Trump fulfilling his promise of getting the illegals out of the country because every single person that's quote unquote illegal is a bad person and must be ripped apart from their families, right? This and that. Here in the United States, we love, and I would just say in the world in general, I don't want to just make this an American thing, but obviously I live in this country and we are the world superpower and our influence, I know that, that this country is dying out. We've seen our better days, obviously, but for the most part, we still influence the world, right? And we just love to focus on the surface level things. Well, these people are bad. You see a couple of, I shouldn't say couple, there were a good amount, right, of these articles that came out during the Biden presidency when he was opening up the borders and purposely flying illegals into the country, letting them over the border, driving them in through buses, whatever he was doing. It was all deliberate, right? We should know this by now. This isn't like conspiracy mumbo jumbo. Like, we should know politics is fake. It's a dog and pony show. It's all World Wrestling Entertainment. This is all for division. This is all for a bigger agenda, which has to do with the digital ID, right? Because that's what Trump is talking about. That's the goal of all these things that have been going on um, ever since the mention of illegals. Listen, like, part of the agenda, yeah, was to dismantle the nation because it's forced diversity, it's forced culturism, right? And countries like the UK, it looks like, are having more issues than the United States because the United States is a really big country compared to the UK and all those European countries out there. But you see, their issues is a lot of Muslim, right? And not saying that there's not a ton of Muslim here in the U.S. Of course there is. Um, but the issue that people have is the forced diversity because naturally, coming from different areas of the world, you're gonna have different languages, different standards, different norms, different cultures, um, different. I don't know how else to put it. Like, the people think the United States, because we've been brainwashed, for this American patriotism, which doesn't really even exist that much anymore, because that's died out. That was an agenda within itself. I mean, this is something where it's like more so in the Bush administration, right? Where it's the war on terror, which you still see today. But this, oh, they did this to us, let's go kill millions of them, this and that, and go invade their resources. The stuff that the United States loves to do, that Americans have no idea because they don't experience it, and our mainstream media doesn't cover it. Our politicians don't talk about it. Therefore, the Americans just don't know it exists because the Americans don't look at anything beyond what they see in front of them on a daily basis, whether that be through social media, on TV, on the news, their entertainment, their friends, their family who don't know truth and don't know morality. You see, we have big problems that go way beyond illegal, quote unquote, illegal immigration. Because again, what I was saying before is we love to focus on the surface level things. Well, there's these bad people in the country. Let's get them out. You know what the bigger picture is? Countries shouldn't exist. Borders shouldn't exist. We shouldn't have a government. We shouldn't have politicians who constantly tell us that they're going to do something and then do the opposite, or tell us that it's for the good or for the greater good of humanity or for the country, and it never is, right? You see, this is leading us right into the digital ID. This is the point of, quote unquote, these terrible illegal immigrants that we've been seeing all these articles about and doing all these things to these poor college students, right? Not saying that some of that didn't happen, because there is bad people in every country, right? Just like there's bad people that exist here in the United States that were born here. The conservatives are being duped into, as usual, this patriotism, which is just very inhumane because it's like, oh, they're not one of us. They're less than. Get them out. Who cares who we hurt? Who cares about their family? It's just like a police military mentality, which of course that's what people who lean conservative and are conservative support. The Blue Lives Matter, because they're very hyper masculine. They love that daddy dominancy, that control, domination. They believe that someone has the authority to be like those guys, dressed up and have weapons, and have the right to shoot them and not be able to go to jail. the way a normal person would, right? Your average everyday person. Because these people, quote unquote, enforce a law that is corrupt. There shouldn't be man's law. Because man's law is always to enslave the majority and to benefit the rich. That's all it's ever been. And I had someone say, because I mentioned the rich, the billionaires, that I sound liberal and all this stuff. And I probably do sound liberal, especially talking against ICE and what they're doing right now, because I know the bigger picture. It's not just, well, everyone's human, this and that, because that is true. No person's illegal. It shouldn't be that way. I totally agree. But it's not just that. The bigger picture is it's beyond politics. It's about controlling everyone so that once you have this digital ID, so that way they can make sure that you're legal, and not someone sneaking in the country. Then you can't leave the country. If you couldn't hide, you couldn't run away from the government. You can't say anything bad about the government then, because you're tracked and traced constantly. They could shut off your banking system. We know. We've been hearing about a digital ID. We don't know how exactly it's going to get implemented, but we know it's coming. It's here. They keep talking about it. The technology is here and ready to go. They just need the people to accept it. And they need the conservatives to be on board, because the liberals will most likely, the people who lean that way, and the people who just don't even pay attention to anything, will most likely just do it. Because, monkey see, monkey do. But people who are conservative, who actually would stand up for America way more than people on the blue team, right? Because they're the ones who are armed, way more trained, a lot more masculinity and sacred masculinity on that side in terms of action. Because the people who are on the blue, let's be real, they're more passive. They're more pacifist. They just sit and yell, right? People who are conservative are more, I'm not saying always, but are more likely to take action. And that's the side that they need to get. Because it's just like when the jab was going around. Most people who are on the red team didn't want to take it. And most people who pushed back were more leaning on that side, right? In fact, a lot of people turned conservative because of what happened in 2020 and all that stuff. But they're still not seeing the bigger picture. They're still in support of dominators like these guys and guys in police uniforms, a guy who doesn't even live in your town but represents your town and is going to pull you over like you're a child for going 5 miles over the speed limit and write you a ticket that's going to affect your car insurance and just completely screw you financially, right? You see, we have to stop supporting dominators like police, like military, like government especially, local, state, and especially federal. Because we have the people, as long as they keep looking at federal politics especially to make some sort of change in their community, you're going to be waiting until the day you die. Because they are just going to keep rear-ending you at lies. They're going to keep screwing you financially. And they're going to make sure that you and your kids have no freedom of thought and have no freedom. That you do exactly what they say. You won't be able to raise this next generation, because the next generation is going to be raised by Big Brother like in 1984. They will be the most fanatical. They will rat you out if you go against them. We're in big trouble, people, because as I keep saying, the bigger picture here is the enslavement of humanity, whether you were born in the U.S. or not, whether you are white, black, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, gay, straight, trans, atheist. I mean, whatever the hell you are, politically even, it doesn't matter. We're all in the same boat, because you're not in that club, that dark occult club of really rich and powerful people. And I don't care if you make $1 million a year. If you don't understand what's taking place right now, if you're falling for everything, if you're not paying attention to it especially, well, you're lost. You really, truly are. Because for you to not have any sense of urgency in these times, I don't know what to tell you, man. The amount of people that I know that know truth, that just seem to have no sense of urgency to warn people or do anything, and I get it, it's frustrating. But if you're not warning people, especially this next generation coming, you're not doing anything. Because I'm telling you, it seems like very soon, because of the advancement of AI, the very little pushback from people, the fact that people just keep falling for political stuff like this, it's going to come faster than we think. Because no one's pushing back, and people are pushing back against the wrong things. If there is pushback in politics, it's pushback against the wrong things. And it's sad, man, because you see all these videos surfacing of people in ICE, right? They come to these neighborhoods, wherever it might be, all over, and they're just taking people away. And you see even a lot of people in the community sticking up for them. I mean, I'm really surprised actually at the amount of people that are stopping the ICE agents. You see a lot of crowds gathering, and this right here is a protest. I'll skip a little bit. They keep just showing the friggin' military. I want them to show something else. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why they just keep showing these guys. Um. Anyway, it's sad because I get why people think we need military and police. I understand why. But the bigger picture is if we had education from the day we're born, proper education, not a government education system, we could teach ourselves how to defend ourselves, self-defense, how to be self-sufficient. We could teach our kids how to be moral, how to understand truth, how to differentiate right from wrong. We could actually create real strong bonds in our community and rely on each other instead of all of us being divided the way we are, because no matter where you live in the US, most people don't really know each other. I mean, I live in New Jersey, obviously a more populated part of the US. Most people don't say hi to each other. Most neighbors don't even know each other's names. And it wasn't always like this. It wasn't always like this. People used to always know each other. People used to have strong bonds, and that's been taken away from us through not only division, through politics and such, and everything I mentioned before, but technology, right? People sitting at home instead of being outside watching movies, television shows, the news, social media, especially video games, being able to FaceTime and call friends and not even just be together in person. So I hope I'm really saying something to make sense, because what I'm trying to say in this, I guess, is obviously I believe that police and military, ICE, of course, shouldn't exist. It shouldn't even be happening right now. It's a real shame. All these guys here that you see, it's not that they're consciously trying to be bad people. They don't know what they're doing. They think they're doing a good thing. We've been told police and military are good and necessary, and that these guys are heroes, right? But really what they do is they take your rights away. They'll shoot and kill because of an order. And again, if we had proper self-defense with weapons and even just hand-to-hand technique, whatever, we wouldn't need any of these guys. There shouldn't be wars, because wars only benefit the bankers, right? That's the only thing wars benefit. It's the only group of people a war benefits is the bankers. The average everyday person is screwed, whether that be financially or that be they're dying. And what we really need to do is ask ourselves what's important, because we keep getting fooled into this stuff. Governments and politicians are just going to let us destroy each other, and that's what's going on. We're just destroying each other because, again, we keep looking and fighting the wrong things. I personally know many people not from the country. I don't know if they're legal or illegal. I know some of both, but I don't know all their statuses, and they're real good people, and it'd be, it would make me feel a certain way, and I definitely would do something if I were to be with them one day and all of a sudden an ICE agent pulls up and tries to take them away, because these guys got families, right? These guys are good, hardworking people. Yes, there's bad apples, but you know what? There's bad apples in the U.S. that were born here as well. So we need to stop the nonsense. We need to stop feeding the beast system and this stuff. We need to protect each other and look out for each other instead of being at each other's necks and each other's throats. And we need to properly educate each other. That's the best we could do. And we need to say no to the politicians. We need to say no to the coming digital IDs that they want to implement. We need to say no to government and rich people having control over us.